Warning, viewer discretion is advised. Some stories shake a nation to its core, not because they involve celebrities or political scandals, but because they show how fragile the boundary between ordinary life and unthinkable horror can be. This is one of those stories. The 1994 case of Mayumi Iwasaki, a talented and beloved hairdresser in Fukuoka, stunned the public with its disturbing mix of obsession, control, and a dark undercurrent hid beneath the surface of everyday professionalism. It hasn't really been covered too much in the West, but it remains one of Japan's most haunting true crime cases to this day. On the morning of March 3rd, 1994, a cleaner working at Tamana parking area along the Kyushu Expressway in Kumamoto Prefecture stumbled upon a black plastic bag during routine garbage collection. Inside was a human left arm, severed and carefully wrapped. Shortly after, another black bag was found at a different location, the Yamakawa parking area in neighboring Fukuoka Prefecture. This time it contained a right arm. The nightmare was just beginning. By March 4th, investigators had discovered additional remains, a torso and a waist, sealed inside a coin locker at JR Kumamoto Station. A left wrist was also found amongst the trash at Yamakawa parking area. The torso also showed signs of extensive post-mortem mutilation. Some parts were missing, and the damage suggested either extreme rage or an emotionally charged motive. Through forensic testing, it was confirmed that all the remains belonged to one woman. On March 7th, a missing persons report matched the forensic profile. The victim was identified as Mayumi Iwasaki, a 30-year-old rising star in Fukuoka's beauty scene. She had built a loyal following at Vivid, a salon in Tenjin, and was also known for her precision, creativity, and drive. At the time of her death, she had nearly 100 regular clients and had placed second in a national makeup competition. Mayumi was described as kind, professional, and hard-working. She mentored younger staff and was admired by her peers. Although she was popular and attractive, co-workers said she prioritized her career over dating. She had officially resigned from Vivid on the 20th of February and was scheduled to begin a new job in early March. But when she failed to show up on March 1st and couldn't be reached, her family checked her apartment. Everything was in order, no forced entry, no sign of struggle. It was as if she had simply vanished. Soon, troubling evidence emerged. All the messages on Mayumi's answering machine before February 27th had been erased. A large quantity of blood matching her type, B, was discovered at her former workplace, Office Kamimeka. A neighborhood newsletter, distributed only in her area, where one of her co-workers lived, was found wrapped around her severed wrist. Other disturbing incidents had occurred in the months leading up to her disappearance. In November 1993, someone impersonating a delivery worker called her, asking for her address, but nothing was ever delivered. In February 1994, her mailbox was tampered with, and a spare key she had hidden was taken. She was known to be receiving repeated silent phone calls. All signs pointed to a premeditated plan. The media response was immediate and intense. A young, successful woman, a horrific crime, whispers of obsession. The story had all the ingredients of a nationwide sensation. Criminologists offered chilling insights. Professor Susumu Oda suggested that the crime was driven by pleasure and personal gratification. Professor Motonari Hirana speculated that the targeted of specific body parts revealed deep-seated emotional or psychological dysfunction. What made the case so unsettling was how intimate it was. The violence wasn't random, it was personal, focused, intentional. On the 15th of March, police arrested Fumiko Eda, 38 years old, the administrative office manager at Kamimeka, Mayumi's former workplace. She had not attended Mayumi's farewell party, but had sent her a good luck card. After her disappearance, Eda denied involvement, claiming she had too received threatening letters and had mysteriously been sent Mayumi's planner and watch. But investigators uncovered damning evidence. Her fingerprints were on the toll tickets used to travel to the body disposal sites. Vehicle records and surveillance matched her rented car to those locations as well. The rare neighborhood paper wrapped around the wrist, which was distributed only in her area, that went against her too. Eventually, Eda confessed to disposing of the body and led police to Mayumi's missing legs on March 25th. And on April the 4th, she admitted to the killing. Eda's background was, on the surface, respectable. Her father was a civil servant, her mother was a teacher. She'd attended elite schools and was regarded as intelligent. But her personal life was troubled. She described her mother as controlling and emotionally harsh. After a divorce and raising 2 children, she struggled with her mental health. In 1989, she started working at office Kamimeka and was promoted to manager. In 1993, she began an affair with a married tax accountant. They became close during a company trip to Hawaii. But as Mayumi's career flourished, Eda's affair deteriorated. She grew convinced that Mayumi was a romantic rival. That jealousy turned into something darker. In 1994, the accountant ended their relationship. Mayumi resigned around the same time. It was the perfect storm of loss, jealousy, and instability. On March 2nd, Eda asked Mayumi to come by the office for some paperwork. They argued for nearly 4 hours, and then Eda snapped. She retrieved a kitchen knife she had purchased 2 weeks earlier and attacked. The prosecution would later describe it as a premeditated and deliberate attack. Mayumi was overpowered and fatally wounded. Over the next 3 hours and 20 minutes, Eda dismembered the body. She packed the remains into black plastic bags and a suitcase. The internal organs were disposed of at a nearby garbage site. She cleaned the scene and, astonishingly, attended a salon training seminar. Later that night, Mayumi's head and right hand have never been recovered. Let's talk about the trial and the aftermath. Eda divorced her husband and reverted to her maiden name. In court, she claimed self-defense, saying that she feared for her safety. But the court rejected her story. In August 1995, she was sentenced to 16 years in prison for murder and dismemberment. She appealed, but the sentence was upheld by the Supreme Court in 1999. While in prison, Eda wrote a book titled Confession, where she cast herself as a misunderstood figure and blamed others, her upbringing, her environment, her former lovers. I might shock you with this one, but it was poorly received. lingering theories and rumors. Even after the case was closed, rumors continued to swirl. Some believed that Eda had accomplices. Others speculated about a man involved in financial misconduct who may have played a role. A particularly strange theory tried to connect this case to a notorious juvenile offender from Kobe. None of the claims were ever substantiated, but the eerie circumstances and emotional complexity of the crime kept speculation alive for years. So we're left with an unfortunate conclusion, or a haunting lesson. This case is more than a headline. It's a brutal reminder of the danger that can hide behind civility, behind smiles, behind farewell cards and good luck messages. It challenges us to think about envy, control, and obsession, about how far a person can fall when their world starts to unravel. Mayumi Iwasaki never made it to her new job. She never had a chance to live the life she worked so hard to build, all because someone else believed that they had the right to decide her fate. So, in this one, I decided to return to true crime after a 2-year absence. Don't worry, it's not a departure from the usual kind of content, but if you liked it, please let me know. And if this story unsettled you, you're not alone. Japan still remembers this case. Not just because of its violence, because it touched a nerve we all have. Being envied for success, being targeted without really knowing why, and being vulnerable when we think we're safe. So I guess my message to you is stay safe and aware. And as always, thanks for watching. If you'd like to hear more true crime, please let me know. Subscribe for more haunting stories from Japan. I'll see you soon.